All right, hello, welcome to lesson 10.6. Inside of this video, we're going to be looking at the surface area of a sphere. So I would encourage the students and teacher to pause the video as needed to catch up on writing down all the items, and pause it to let the students ask any questions as well. So yesterday, our last lesson, we worked on the volume of a sphere. And the formula for the volume of a sphere was as 4/3 pi r cubed. And today we're going to be looking at the surface area of a sphere, and the formula for surface area of a sphere is 4 times pi times the radius squared. So it's really similar to our pi r squared formula, except it's multiplied by 4. So the surface area of a sphere is equivalent to 4 of its shadows in a sense. So 4 times pi r squared. So we're going to go back to the radius of the Earth problem. So here's the radius of the Earth in kilometers. 6,387.1 kilometers. We want to find the surface area on the Earth. So we simply take this formula and we replace the r with what the radius is. And so here the radius is the 6,387. So we just plug that in. And then to type this into our calculator, I loaded up my calculator this time. So what I want to do is type in this first part, this 4 times pi. So we're going to have 4 multiplied by pi. And pi is here. We had second and then this exponent key to get pi. And then what we want to do is multiply that by the radius, so 6387.1 squared. So 6387.1. And then to square something, we can either hit the exponent and 2, or we can just click on this little squaring key. It's going to take that number and square it. And there is the surface area of our Earth. So we get 512,645,672.4 kilometers squared. Okay. And we're on surface area, so it's kilometers squared. So the next one is talking about the surface area of a sphere. They give us the surface area, and I'll encourage all the students to pause the video and teacher to pause the video to let everybody write that problem down. To ask any questions you may have, try to type it into the calculator yourself. Make sure you can do it all, and then when you're ready, you can move on. The next problem is looking at the surface area of a sphere. Well, they give us the surface area of a sphere. We want to find the volume of the sphere. So this one's a little more complicated because we need to take this formula and work it backwards. Because we're going to take the surface area of the sphere, we're going to find the radius, and then we're going to find the radius of the sphere, and then turn that into our volume. So it's kind of two problems in one. So the first thing we're going to do is take the surface area formula, which we have right here, 4 times pi times radius squared, and we're going to set that equal to the surface area, 49 pi. And I see how I have pi on both sides, so I'm going to divide pi by both sides, and they're going to cancel here and cancel here. And then I'll be left with 49 equals 4 times r squared. We want to get r by itself, so I'm going to divide by 4. So 49 divided by 4 is 12 and a quarter. And now I'm left with r squared equals 12.25. So in order to get rid of this square, we need to do the opposite of squaring, and that's going to be the square root. So inside of the calculator, the square root button is second, and then this exponent key. And it's going to pull up the square root, and we can type in 12.25. And we can take the square root of that number, and there we go, 3.5. So that's the radius of this sphere. And then we're going to take that radius and plug that into our volume formula. So it's 4/3 pi r cubed, which we studied on the previous lesson. So I'm going to type in 4/3 using parentheses here. 4/3 times pi times the radius, 3.5. And then to go to the third power, I'm going to hit the exponent key and then put a 3 down, because that will take us to the third power. And there we go, 179.59. So I encourage you and the teacher to pause the video to try to type this into your calculator, make sure you can do it. Write down all of that and ask questions And the next video, we'll have our next example for this lesson.